I'm Heather Merritt with the Bullitt County Tea Party Group. This is our fourth meeting for the local Tea Party area. We are about 250 strong today. We have about 15 coordinators that work together for about 2 months to put this event together. We've been asked why would we do this again a year after the Obama election and a year and a half after the Bush bailout, and that's because they're still not listening. And so we will continue to show up until they do.
I also met with my CPA, as I'm sure many of you have recently, and it was interesting to hear him say what he's seen because of the passing of the bill. Already, he said he's had small business owners that have come in and asked him, how is this going to affect my taxes? And he said overwhelmingly, including himself, the answer is, I'm going to have to pay more taxes. I'm going to cut a position. So we're looking at increased unemployment down the road as well. Also, I've never quite understood how the IRS, how they would police this. And he said that was the purpose of them hiring all these new people into the IRS, is it's going to kind of be like the states are going to have to report to the IRS. And you're going to have proof of everybody having their insurance. And all of this will filter through the IRS, and basically it will be paid through the income taxes, the penalty for not having the insurance. But you think of the increased burden that the insurance companies will need to send in proof of each of us, just like our insurance companies, to the state. And in turn, the state will need to report to the federal government. So you think about the extra burden on the insurance companies. Are they going to eat that cost? No. And then the state's going to have a higher burden because now they've got to turn that over to the federal government, and then we're paying for all those people to enforce that. So these are just ripple effects that I think a lot of people just don't even see. And I could stand up here and go on and on about the personal things. But these are some new things that I thought you may not have heard about that are going to be affected already and have already started because of what's started to fall into place. Briefly, I also wanted to just kind of talk about, I've heard a lot of people say, well, what can we do? And it would be great if we could repeal the bill. I don't know that that's possible, but what we can do is we can defund this bill. And I think that could be a real good possibility. So how do we go about doing that? And it starts with each one of you. It starts with you educating. I remember a year ago we were in Washington, and I embarrassed my poor mother because there was a young, and I want us to applaud these college students and these young people that are here today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to learn, and I just give kudos to you for being here today. But there was a young student behind us, and he was talking, and I turned around and started talking to him about my viewpoints because I overheard him. And my poor mother was so embarrassed, and she's like, Sherry, it's just not worth it, stop it. But I just kept going and kept talking to him, and eventually he really started to, he may not agree, but he started to listen at least to what I was saying. And he started out by saying, oh, you just watch, Hannity and just repeat what they said. And I said to him, no, I know my facts. I get on and I research, and I just don't repeat. And that's what I think each and every single one of us here needs to start doing. We need to know our facts. We need to educate people, and start in your house until you feel comfortable. And then just start going out there, because until we educate, I don't think that, we're beginning to see the turnaround, and we are getting the word out, and we are educating through things like this. But it's going to take each and every one of us doing it, with our children, with the young, and our neighbors. So that's the first thing I really think that we need to do is educate. We need to speak out. We need to call our congressmen and not just tell them vote no. but list to them why. And I've invited Mr. Barrow several times to come up and spend a couple hours with me in the ER to see. And I think we're getting closer to getting him in there, and I hope so. You know, like I read why he's against the bill. And what he's against the bill are not the principles of, you know, free market and less government. That's not why he's voted against the bill. And if we stick to those principles, I think that we'll have a lot better and open ears to our words if we stick to our three principles and not make it so much political, because that is why we're all here. And I just encourage everybody, you know, to be heard, to get our voice out there, and to, you know, just be heard. And that's pretty much it. And if you have any questions, if you want to hear more specifics, I'll be glad to talk further with you. But I just want to give everybody else an opportunity to come up and speak. But I just encourage to remember in November, because that's another way to be heard. Amen.
We need to stop some of the government takeover of our country. It starts little bits and it gets more and more. Ask anybody that lives through Nazism and they'll find out that that's what we're facing here. We need to be concerned about our children and our grandchildren and the debt that we're incurring to them. And we need to support the freedoms that our men have fought for, our military. I think a brother died in Vietnam and he fought for our freedom. And I think we can at least come out and support people that are standing up to this government doing the wrong thing.
I believe that Jimmy Carter was right when he said racists had something to do with this. I believe about half of it is racism. They're a bunch of bad losers. They have never got over losing the election in 08. They're still campaigning.
I came by to know more about it, to see what it was about, to see, I don't know, to see if it's really about dogging Obama, which is not about dogging him. It's about treating America right, what you believe in, how you feel about the taxes, new laws, and all that. And so I advise anybody who get a chance to come out and see it, come out and see it for yourself, and don't believe everything that you hear about it.